What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. I bet many of you are excited. September is finally over. It was a bloody and choppy month. AMC did close strong above that $38 level, charged all the way up to above $40 before cooling off a little bit. We're going to take a look at that. We're also going to talk about why we are still playing the short plays and give you a quick update on where I see things going over the next couple weeks. So let's get right into it. First off, the S&P 500 for the month of September down almost 5%. The first few days, week almost, kind of did hang a little bit stagnant, and then it just continued to sell off. Everything that is happening, the issues with the Fed and Congress right now really just did not add to it. Investors are continuing to get spooked going into it. I will also say this: reverse repo numbers did top $1.6 trillion. When large institutions do not have faith in long-term investments, this is a red flag. This is why these numbers continue to rise. That's why we are playing the short game. We have not yet gone back into our long swings like I am waiting to. Some of the big stocks, I'm going to go over a couple of them as well, are really getting to oversold levels, and you'll be able to get some of those nice gains in the future. Let's take a look at a couple things that happened today and where things currently stand. Janet Yellen was back yelling again in front of that microphone, as you can see right here in this picture, trying to urge Congress to actually remove the debt ceiling altogether. They do have an October 18th deadline, or else we could face default. In brighter news, the House did pass a government funding bill. This is basically going to prevent a shutdown from happening. That one is good. They still are worried about that debt ceiling, so we do have a little bit of time ahead of that, but that's just where everything stands. That's probably why the market really sold off at the beginning of the day. It did start to recover a little bit before eventually really closing off strong. It seems like the pops that we are getting at the open for the entire market are just really not hanging. A couple plays I want to talk about, and I will mention a couple things here as well. It seems like there is a little bit of a shift happening. We were playing some large caps for a little while, getting some small gains on them, which everybody in the group is doing really well. I will say this, that we are seeing a little bit of a shift back over into the penny stocks, anything under $5. I will also point out something that I noticed again happening and give you this, and you can read this if you're unfamiliar with this term. Okay, it is basically called sector sentiment. Remember when Tesla ran at the end of last year until February? It was in the EV sector, and every single EV stock ran. You remember, I mean, NIO, Li Auto, Xpeng, they all ran based on Tesla moving. It was kind of the leader in that. And that's what we saw happening to a couple stocks, especially yesterday. Grom, which was a monster one, picked up midday. It was running from DATS. Today we had a couple good ones. PALT was pretty good. And I think Grom had a little bit of action into it as well. I will take a look at PALT. It did rip right out of the gate. I put this box here to show everybody a nice supply zone. I said once it got over 1120, it was going to move. Brought us $3. It actually halted. It came way out of the halt. The halt was actually extended. People reaching out to me, what does an extended halt mean? Just means there was way too many orders coming in, which basically means you're going to see a bigger jump happening at the open, which we did. Rode that one up for really nice gains. Ground was a little bit quicker of a play. We were looking for some of that soaking into that 340, 330 range, went all the way back up to 465 before eventually closing around at that $4 mark. And as you can see, it's ripping back into that 437. Pay attention to all of these sector sentiment plays. If you're unfamiliar with them, look it up, check it out. Feel free to leave a comment down below and take a look at it, because it seems like the interest of some of these traders and investors are getting back into playing sentiment plays. When one goes like DATS did, that's when you're looking at Grom, which is Grom Social, and PALT, which is Pal Talk, both very similar in the same category. Now let's take a look at this SPY really quick before we get into AMC. I'm going to jump over to the daily chart just to show you exactly where we stand. We are trying to hang on to that 100 moving average. We are below it for the first break. We're going to see if it's a little bit of a fake out here, which is exactly that happened on the 20th before moving back up to the upside. And like I said, it is moving a little bit after hours, but we're going to need some more time to be able to tell through that. The next zone of support, of strong support, is at the 412 level, which would bring us basically into a correction territory. That means from all-time highs, that 454 would almost bring us down to that 10% mark. I'm trying to do my math here, about it'd be 409, so it would almost bring us down to that correction territory. Hopefully we can pretend or get away from that and keep this SPY moving forward. Now let's take a look at AMC today, a late runner. I love these absolute late runners in the day. It's absolutely been rocking for us. went all the way up to almost $42 before cooling off at the $38 level. If you do take a look at where we stand, the 100 moving average did act as strong support for us. The 50 moving average going into it, like I said, we blew way away from it going back into early June, bounced off it one time here in July, immediately broke through it. But the 100 moving average did give us great support, especially all the way out throughout August. It was sitting at about that $29 to $31 level throughout that time frame. Now it's sitting up just a little bit higher, that $36 level. We broke a little bit below it, as you can see here. I'll zoom in for you. Broke a little bit below it, but we'll just get back to that bullish upside. Hopefully we can get continuing back up into the uptrend. Like I said, once you get into some of these areas, the buying power is there. As you can see, look at this volume today. Over 100 million shares traded. We haven't seen that until, I mean, going back all the way until almost early September when we had the big move to the upside. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a reversal happening. It is Friday tomorrow, so we know Fridays are normally not always the best for us, but there is some action coming back to AMC. And it was nice to see it happen right around that $34 to $35 level. So all of you that were able to scoop up and add to your dips, it was absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to cover anything that has to do with what is going on with Citadel and Robinhood and everything, because you're reading it all over Twitter and getting to see it from other videos. I do have my own personal take on what is happening. We're going to have to see exactly where this plays out. As long as there is, like I said, just more attention brought to the matter, it is always beneficial for us. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.